It was good to hear from a lot of the defensive players today. We talked about what they thought of the offense and what they thought of kind of how they looked. But let's talk about some of these young defenders that are going to have to step up into a much bigger role this season. You talk about an Avion Terrell, you talk about a Shelton Lewis. These guys are true sophomores, and they look to be the two guys running out there first, starting at cornerback for the Clemson Tigers. And obviously got a guy in Jaden Lucas that, obviously still in the green jersey, still physically limited. A great player went on the field, but the problem with him is his availability. He hasn't been available very often. So we don't know what's going to happen there. And then obviously at safety, you got a bunch of dogs coming back. You got Tyler Venables coming back. You got R.J. Mickens coming back. You got Khalil Barnes. Sherrod Koval's coming back off of injury. That dude's flashed at times. So there's a ton going on in the back end, but a ton of young. Although they've gotten thrown into the fire and they've gotten their experience and they've gotten their licks, still you're going to be leaning on a lot of young guys. So what are your thoughts early fall camp returns on those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think you just Mike Reed and Mickey Conn continue to be a fantastic 1-2 punch as far as evaluation. I think that's just one thing that continues to jump out at me. They have had, they just have a knack of finding guys. Like not every guy in that secondary is like the highly recruited 5-star. I mean, like Jaden Lucas was a big time recruit. But like Ricardo Jones was a top 100 kid, but not everybody in that room was like that. Shelton Lewis, nobody, unless you were like really tuned in with the state of Georgia high school, recruiting landscape, nobody knew who Shelton Lewis was coming out of high school. He was a mid 3-star from Stockbridge. Like nobody, and he comes in when the depth was tested last year and performed extremely admirably. And he just has a different mentality. Like they just, Mike Reed and Mickey Conn, they haven't been about star rankings. They've been it's always been about, are you a good football player? Do you have the mentality that we want? Like, it doesn't matter what the star number or star ranking is next to your name or the ranking is next to your name. And that's one of the things that's been so impressive with this group. People talking about Khalil Barnes. Yeah, no. He was a guy nobody was talking about. He was a Wake Forest commit until Clemson and Notre Dame kind of got in on him late. And so, like, he comes in and is a freshman All-American. Like, you have that type of evaluation is what has kept, especially on the defensive side of the ball, kept it so strong. And so, you continue to hear nothing but good things about the older guys. Of course, you have R.J. Mickens and Tyler Venables and some of the experienced guys coming back. But then you mentioned the young guys. Like at safety, Kylan Griffin, you got Sherrod Koval coming back. The young guys at nickel, whether it's Khalil Barnes or Ashton Hampton, who has been people have been raving about Ashton Hampton. He's another fall enrollee coming in and being as impressive as he's been has been really, really cool to hear. So, I mean, you have to feel good. You mentioned you're going to be leaning on a lot of young guys, but you're leaning on a lot of young guys who have played a good bit because of how last season went. Right. You can, that's about all you can ask for when you lose a first round talent at corner. And you have enough veterans in key spots to where you feel good about the leadership. And, you mentioned Jaden Lucas. He's one of the older guys in the cornerback room now. And it's just like, with him, it's about availability because when he's healthy, he's a unicorn in terms of his athleticism. I mean, I still remember that that interception he had in was it the Under Armour All-American game? I don't remember what it was, some All-Star game where he legitimately like jumped like 6 feet in the air. It was crazy. Yeah. Like, and that's a kid you got he's right in your own backyard. Like, so it just, I want it so bad for him because I think he is a guy that we haven't talked about a ton, but a guy that, Clemson is going to be relying on a ton. And so availability is definitely is the thing with him, because I think when he is 100%, I think he has the potential to be a first round type corner, just from his athletic traits, his build, extremely rangy. Those arms, he's got like legit, like crazy long arms, like everything that Mike Reed wants in a corner. He has, and of course, Avion Terrell being as special as he is, you have to feel good about
that
the
dude.
potential.
That dude just walked on the field different.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. There's something in that Terrell family. I don't know what they got going on over there.
Yeah, I don't know what they feed them, man, but
I don't
they
know
just
what they got going on. Hey,
hopefully they bring some more of them.
Yeah, keep them coming to Clemson. Whatever you're doing, just keep them coming to Clemson. But yeah, man, it's going to be exciting to see these young guys, and you heard them talk in interviews today, and it to me it sounds like their head is in the right place, right? You could tell Avion Terrell, very humble dude, like just seems like a guy that's very about his business, and he's going to go out on the field and do what he does, and he's going to leave it there. And then you got Shelton Lewis. It's kind of the opposite of that. He's that more flashy corner. He's that more talk at the receiver and play that type of game, and let when he gets you. So I like the different personalities that we have back there, and how they kind of bounce off of each other, and interested to see what Jaden Lucas can put together this season, because he can. I mean, that can be an X factor for the Clemson defense if we can keep him healthy and on the field. To have a guy like that that you can just roll out there whenever, that's a game changer, man. Because that dude is different when he's out on the field. So
Chase says, I like the 3-3-5 concept. I mean, yeah, I think I don't think it's going to be like a base defense or anything like that. Wes is always going to be a 4-down guy. But when you want to kind of show a different look, especially on third downs, and you want to get guys in coverage, like that could be fun. You could do a lot. I think you could do a lot of stuff with that. We'll see how much they rep that kind of thing. But it could be a nice little package to throw in there to kind of just throw some defenses off. I think you have especially with the amount of versatility you have on the back end. I think that's something you could do. All right.
So BYOG or sell. I'm going to go defensive side of the ball. And a guy I was just talking about earlier, Jaden Lucas. So Jaden Lucas will play in more than 10, play significant snaps in more than 10 football games this season.
I'm gonna buy or BYOG, probably for just selfish reasons, because I want him to play and I want him to be available, because it's a big year for him.
Yeah.
Being a junior and all of that, like he has a chance to make some money if he kind of puts it all together and he's healthy and on the field. So I'm going to say BYOG. I mean, he's a guy, injuries be damned. I think he's a guy they want to be involved and be one of the anchors of that secondary. And you've heard great things about him. He's a guy that when he's healthy, he's been really, really good in the offseason. And so it's just about being able to stay on the field for long enough. And that's just something he's been battling with. But I'm going to BYOG for selfish reasons. There's reasons to be kind of worried about his availability, but I think he puts it together this year. I think he's got that talent.